All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Sunil Verma and with me is Subhadra Ramachandran. The headlines. NDA finalizes seat sharing for Bihar Assembly elections. BJP releases list of 27 candidates for first phase. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says new farm laws safeguard farmers from fluctuations of prices for their products. Centre releases SOP to contain spread of COVID-19 for upcoming festival season. Quad foreign ministers of India, USA, Japan and Australia meet in Tokyo, call for a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific. And in IPL cricket, Mumbai Indians defeat Rajasthan Royals by 57 runs and Kolkata Knight Riders to clash with Chennai Super Kings today at Abu Dhabi. As the nation fights COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a note of precaution to stay safe and stay protected in 3 simple steps. Wear face masks. Maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing. And focus on hand hygiene and face hygiene. And now, the news in details. In Bihar, BJP has released a list of 27 candidates for the first phase of state assembly elections. Among prominent candidates, Cabinet Ministers Prem Kumar is contesting from Gaya Town Assembly constituency and Ram Narayan Mandal from Banka. Cabinet Minister Vijay Kumar Sinha will contest from Lakhisarai and Brij Kishore Bind will be the candidate from Chainpur. Newly inducted shooting champion Shreyasi Singh will contest from Jamui Assembly constituency. Both BJP and JDU released list of assembly constituencies of their quota. According to seat sharing formula, BJP will contest on 121 seats and JDU on 122. Out of this, JDU has given 7 seats to its partner Hindustani Awami Morcha, HAM. President of HAM party and former Chief Minister will contest from Imamganj Assembly constituency. JDU, RJD and Congress have not released the list of their party candidates. Tomorrow is the last date of filing of nomination papers for the first phase of elections. Polling will be held on 28th October in 71 assembly constituencies spread over 16 districts. More from our Patna correspondent.
Due to new political equations, JDU and BJP has exchanged their seats in assembly elections. Gora Bauram Assembly constituency in Darbhanga district, which is presently represented by Cabinet Minister Madan Sahni, has been given to BJP. In 2015 assembly elections, JDU had contested with RJD. BJP is in negotiation with Vikashshil Insan Party, VIP, which had recently walked out from Grand Alliance. Out of 121, BJP will give seats to VIP from its own quota. On the other hand, Congress has allotted party symbols to its 21 candidates. Sitting MLAs like Munna Tiwari and Bunty Chaudhary have succeeded to get ticket. On the same pattern, RJD has allotted 42 party symbol on individual basis. RJD candidate and former Minister Javed Iqbal Ansari will contest from Banka. With report of Dharmendra Kumar Rai from Patna, Anupam Mishra, AIR News.
Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has said the 3 new agricultural legislations brought by the centre would free the farmers from the shackles in marketing their products. Talking to reporters in Chennai last evening, she said comprehensive discussions were held with agricultural experts, farmers and various other stakeholders before bringing the legislations. She said the MSP mechanism will continue even while offering the farmers the option to sell their products to the traders of their choice in their own time wherever in the country. Ms. Sitharaman said the doubts about the buyers of the agricultural products through the contract farming mechanism having any say on the land holding of the farmers is totally unfounded. She stressed that the farmers will be safeguarded from the fluctuations of the prices for their products using the 3 new legislations.
MSP is there, it was there and it shall continue to be there. MSP is decided through various different formulae, one of which was recommendation given by the Swaminathan committee. But of course the CACP, which looks at the cost of price and production for agricultural products, also does its annual crop-based rigorous exercise, Kharif or Rabi. So every time they go through this motion based on the inputs which come from various Krishi Vigyan Kendras and research centers. So that aligns it with what the prices have to be based on the formula which the government uses for MSP.
The minister said various opposition parties incorporated the provisions of the new legislations in their election manifesto, though they are opposing them now with political intentions.
Union Health Ministry has released standard operating procedures on preventive measures to contain the spread of COVID-19 during festivities. The ministry said to prevent the spread of COVID-19 infection, it is important that necessary preventive measures are followed for such events. Persons above 65 years of age, persons with comorbidities, pregnant women and children below the age of 10 years are advised to stay at home. The ministry has asked administration to identify spatial boundaries and prepare a detailed site plan which would facilitate compliance with thermal screening, physical distancing and sanitization. In case of rallies and immersion processions, the number of people should not exceed the prescribed limit. In any case, the number of such rallies and the distance covered by them may be kept within the manageable limits. Events planned to last for many days or weeks such as exhibitions, fairs, puja pandals, Ramleela pandals or concerts and plays should have adequate measures to ensure a cap on physical numbers. Staggered timings and restricted entry may be considered. Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar released the standard operating procedures regarding the reopening of cinema halls in the country from the 15th of this month. Briefing the media in New Delhi yesterday, the minister informed that cinema halls will be allowed to function at 50% capacity, as was earlier stated in the guidelines of the Home Ministry.
स्वास्थ्य मंत्रालय के सलाह से I&B मिनिस्ट्री ने एक स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ प्रोसेस घोषित किया है और उसमें 50% लोग अलाउड होंगे. सुरक्षित दूरी, मास्क और सैनिटाइजर इसका उपयोग बाध्यकारी है. कोरोना के संदर्भ में जागृति निर्माण करने वाली फिल्म 1 मिनट की या अनाउंसमेंट या तो शो के पहले भी और मध्यंतर के पहले और मध्यंतर के बाद ये दिखाना कंपलसरी है. 2 शोज में स्टैगर्ड टाइम टेबल चाहिए कि पूरा हॉल सैनिटाइज होकर दूसरे लोग आकर बैठेंगे और आने जाने वालों का ज्यादा संपर्क नहीं रहेगा, ऐसी व्यवस्था होनी चाहिए.
The minister also informed that a 1-minute clipping spreading awareness about protocols to be followed during COVID times will also be screened in theatres and cinema halls, both before the start of the movie and during the interval. Mr. Javadekar said that single-screen cinema halls should ensure that multiple ticketing windows are made available for the visitors so that overcrowding could be avoided. He also stressed on promoting online medium for ticket booking as much as possible.
The Health Ministry today said that India's total recoveries have crossed 56.6 lakh and it has boosted the national recovery rate to 84.7%. In a tweet, the ministry said this sustained high figure is fueled by 17 states and UTs reporting recovery rate higher than the national average. It said this high rate of recoveries has positioned India as the top country globally with maximum number of recovered cases. Gujarat recorded 1,335 new cases of COVID-19 during the last 24 hours. A total of 1,25,243 patients have recovered from COVID-19 till now. The recovery rate has reached up to 86.16%. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
The total cases detected so far in Gujarat have reached up to 1,45,362. 1,473 patients recovered during the last 24 hours. More than 47,54,000 tests have been carried out in the state till date, out of which 51,879 tests were carried out yesterday. Maximum 281 new cases reported from Surat. At present, total active cases in the state are 16,597, out of which 91 patients are on ventilator. 10 patients died yesterday, taking the total death due to COVID-19 up to 3,522. More than 5,79,000 people have been kept home quarantined. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
In Madhya Pradesh, the number of COVID-19 cases in the state climbed up to more than 1,38,000 after 1,570 new cases were reported in the past 24 hours. More from our correspondent.
As per the State Health Bulletin, 2,161 coronavirus patients were discharged from the hospitals in the past 24 hours, taking the number of recovered cases in the state to around 1,18,000. There are now 18,141 active cases in Madhya Pradesh. The recovery rate has further improved and reached up to more than 83%. More than 22,57,000 tests have been carried out in the state till date, out of which more than 25,000 tests were carried out yesterday. In a district-wise review of corona infection, the highest 425 new cases of COVID-19 have been reported in Indore district, followed by 299 cases in Bhopal, 141 in Jabalpur and 70 in Gwalior. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
In Chhattisgarh, an awareness campaign has been initiated in several districts to break the chain of corona infection. Under this campaign, people are being advised to take necessary precautions to prevent corona infection. We have a report.
In Mahasamund district of Chhattisgarh, people are being encouraged through public address system in urban and rural areas to wear masks, maintain social distancing and wash their hands periodically. These messages are being narrated in Hindi as well as in local dialect Chhattisgarhi. Similarly, Panchayat officials in various villages of Janjgir Chapa district are going door to door to make people aware about the precautionary measures necessary to avoid corona infection. In Raipur district, administration is also taking help of social media to make people aware. People are being encouraged to fill an online form taking oath that they will use mask. Similarly, people on Facebook have also been asked to upload their photo in which they will put on a mask showing a poster written Harega Corona, Jeetega Raipur. Vikalp Shukla, AIR News, Raipur.
In Odisha, COVID-19 recovery has further gone up to 2,06,400 with the recovery of 4,098 patients yesterday. The cumulative positive cases too have risen to 2,38,003 with 2,673 fresh infections. The death toll has mounted to 940. More from our correspondent.
The virus kept on infecting 4,000 plus people daily for about 20 days at a stretch before relenting down to below 3,000 for 2 consecutive days. While the highest cases of 448 were reported from Khordha district, which is only half the record it had set a few days ago, the number of districts reporting cases beyond 100 has also come down to 7 out of 30. Though it's the recovery rather than infection riding the crest now, experts warn it has no license to lower the guard against the virus, which has already proven its virulence while still being away from any vaccine as of now. Girish Chandradal, Bhubaneswar.
As Kerala continues to report spike in COVID cases, the state government has decided to enforce COVID-19 protocol more strictly.
Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan said that the recent spike in cases is due to lowering of vigil. Accordingly, strong measures will be taken for stringent implementation of COVID guidelines, and the focus in all districts would be to contain the test positivity rate, which is a measure of virus spread, below 10. He said that the health department will use the RT-PCR test to confirm that a person is cured of COVID-19, even if he or she tests negative in antigen test. The decision was taken after it was found that antigen test gave too many false negatives. Meanwhile, the state tourism sector will open up from October 15th in phased manner, adhering to COVID-19 protocols. Presently, 87,738 active COVID cases are there in Kerala. Mayusha for AR News from Thiruvananthapuram.
In Karnataka, 9,993 new COVID-19 cases were reported yesterday, taking the tally to 6,57,705 cases. 10,228 people also recovered from the disease in the state. The total number of recovery has gone up to 5,33,074. We have a report.
Karnataka Medical Education Minister Dr. K. Sudhakar has said that government is not considering to open the schools now. While speaking to media persons in Madikeri yesterday, he said that after consulting experts, it is found appropriate not to start the schools due to heavy caseload of novel coronavirus. Dr. Sudhakar also said that government is considering setting up of new guidelines for tourists visiting tourist spots in the state. Guidelines like compulsory COVID test for tourists, physical checkup will be done using health, revenue and police department staffs. R. Murthy, AIR News, Bengaluru.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. NDA finalizes seat sharing for Bihar Assembly elections. BJP releases list of 27 candidates for the first phase. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says new farm laws safeguard farmers on fluctuations of prices for their products. Centre releases SOP to contain the spread of COVID-19 for upcoming festive season. Quad foreign ministers of India, USA, Japan and Australia meet in Tokyo. Call for a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific. And in IPL cricket, Mumbai Indians defeat Rajasthan Royals by 57 runs and Kolkata Knight Riders to clash with Chennai Super Kings today at Abu Dhabi. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
3 steps to stay protected and stay safe from COVID-19. Wear face mask, 2 gaz ki duri to maintain social distancing, maintain hand and face hygiene.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar asserted that as vibrant and pluralistic democracies with shared values, the 4 Quad member nations have collectively affirmed the importance of maintaining a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific. Dr. S. Jaishankar, in his opening remarks at the 2nd Quad ministerial meeting in Tokyo, Japan yesterday said that the objective of the Quad member countries, which include India, the United States, Japan and Australia, remains advancing the security and the economic interests of all countries having legitimate and vital interests.
As vibrant and pluralistic democracies with shared values, our nations have affirmed collectively the importance of maintaining a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific. We remain committed to upholding the rules-based international order underpinned by the rule of law, transparency, freedom of navigation in international seas, and respect for territorial integrity and sovereignty and peaceful resolution of disputes. Our objective remains advancing the security and the economic interests of all countries having legitimate and vital interests in the region. It is a matter of satisfaction that the Indo-Pacific concept has gained increasingly wider acceptance.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar today met Foreign Ministers of Australia, Marise Payne in Tokyo. The ministers reviewed the progress in the bilateral ties after the virtual summit between Prime Minister of India and Australia. They also discussed expanding cooperation in global affairs and regional issues. In a tweet, Mr. Jaishankar said both countries will work together more closely in multilateral forums. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that wildlife conservation is ingrained in our ethos and has always been an integral part of Indian tradition and culture. In his message on Wildlife Week 2020, Mr. Modi said the Holy Constitution enshrines this philosophy by including conservation of forests and wildlife as one of the fundamental duties of every Indian. He said, India hosts the last wild population of Asiatic lions and possesses the distinction of having the highest number of tigers in the world. The Prime Minister said the concerted efforts of the nation towards conserving the wildlife are showing results. He said the resolve of doubling tiger numbers has been fulfilled and the target was achieved well in advance. Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar said on the occasion of Wildlife Week 2020, the inspirational message of Prime Minister Narendra Modi will encourage all to intensify wildlife conservation in the country in order to make the planet Earth a better place to live in.
Uttar Pradesh government has said that it is ready for any kind of probe into the Hathras case, which unearths the truth behind the incident, requesting the Apex Court in an affidavit filed yesterday to direct a CBI probe in the Hathras case. UP government said that it is also ready for a CBI investigation under supervision of Supreme Court. Meanwhile, 4 persons have been arrested by the state police in Mathura for inciting violence in Hathras case. More from our correspondent.
The 4 men with alleged links with organization Popular Front of India were arrested from Mathura while they were on their way to Hathras from Delhi. The 4 were identified as Atiqur Rahman of Muzaffarnagar, Siddiq of Mallapuram, Kerala, Masood Ahmad of Bahraich and Alam of Rampur. Police claimed that they have seized their mobile phones, laptops and some literature also, which could disturb peace and stability in Uttar Pradesh. According to state police, the 4 accused had links with the PFI and its associated organization Campus Front of India. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
In Jammu and Kashmir, 2 terrorists have been killed in a night-long encounter that took place between security forces and terrorists at village Sugan of Zainapora belt in the South Kashmir's Shopian district. A senior police officer said that 2 unidentified terrorists have been killed while the operation is on in the area. Earlier, a joint team of police, armies, 44 Rashtriya Rifles and CRPF launched a cordon and search operation on specific information about the presence of terrorists in Sugan area. As the joint teams of security forces approached the suspected spot, the hiding terrorists fired upon them, which was retaliated, triggering an encounter. Talking to AIR News, Jammu and Kashmir DGP Dilbagh Singh said,
इसमें जानकारी ये मिली थी कि सुगन गांव के अंदर आतंकी कुछ घर के अंदर छुपे हुए हैं के ऊपर ऑपरेशन प्लान किया गया और फोर्सेस ने घेरा डाला। घेरा डालने के बाद हमारी पार्टी के ऊपर फायर हुआ जिसका जवाब दिया गया। उसके बाद बराबर एनकाउंटर रात भर चलता रहा और अभी सुबह तक 2 आतंकी मारे गए हैं। इतला ऐसी है कि अभी भी 2 के करीब आतंकी अंदर होंगे।
The Appointments Committee of the Cabinet has approved the appointment of M.A. Ganapathy to the post of Director General, Bureau of Civil Aviation Security BCAS for a tenure up to his superannuation on February 29, 2024 or until further orders. He is a 1986 batch IPS officer of Uttarakhand cadre. The post of BCAS chief fell vacant after Rakesh Asthana was appointed as the Director General of Border Security Force in August. Britain's Roger Penrose, Reinhard Genzel of Germany, and American Andrea Ghez won the 2020 Nobel Prize for Physics for their discoveries about one of the most exotic phenomena in the universe, the black hole. Penrose, professor at the University of Oxford, won the prize for his work using mathematics to prove that black holes are a direct consequence of the general theory of relativity, while Genzel at the Max Planck Institute and Ghez at the University of California, Los Angeles shared the prize for discovering that an invisible and extremely heavy object governs the orbits of stars at the center of our galaxy.
Clay court master Raphael Nadal passed his first real tests of this year's French Open with a 7-6-4, 6-4, 6-1 victory against the Italian rising star Yannick Sinner, as his quest for a record-breaking 13th title gathered momentum yesterday. The Spaniard, also looking to match Roger Federer's record of 20 Grand Slam men's singles titles, was stretched by the 19-year-old Sinner. In another quarter-final match, Argentina's Diego Schwartzman outlasted third-seeded Dominique Thiem to win 7-6-1, 5-7, 6-7-6, 7-6-5, 6-2 and reach his first French Open semi-final. In today's quarterfinals, top-seeded Djokovic meets P. Carreño Busta and A. Rublev meets fifth-seeded S. Tsitsipas. In Indian Premier League cricket, Mumbai Indians rode on pacer Jasprit Bumrah's 4-wicket haul and Suryakumar Yadav's blistering unbeaten 79 to thrash Rajasthan Royals by 57 runs in the 20th match at the Sheikh Zayed Stadium in Abu Dhabi tonight. The win also helped Mumbai Indians reclaim the top spot on the points table with 8 points from 6 matches, while RR slipped to the 7th place with 4 from 5 games. Earlier, Mumbai Indians, after winning the toss and batting first, had scored 193 for 4 wickets in 20 overs. Today, Kolkata Knight Riders will face Chennai Super Kings in Abu Dhabi.
Nearly 40 countries criticized China's treatment of minority groups, especially in Xinjiang and Tibet, yesterday in a joint statement read at a meeting of the General Assembly's Human Rights Committee. The United States, many European countries, Japan and others called on China to allow unfettered access to Xinjiang for independent observers, including UN Human Rights Chief Michelle Bachelet, and to urgently refrain from detaining Uyghurs and members of other minorities. Their statement, read by Germany's UN Ambassador Christoph Husgen, said its 39 signatories shared the concerns expressed by 50 independent UN human rights experts in an extraordinary letter in June. They raised concerns including Beijing's treatment of ethnic minorities in Tibet and Xinjiang, allegations of excessive force against protesters, reports of retaliation against people who spoke out about the coronavirus outbreak, and proposed new security law of Hong Kong. Eddie Van Halen, considered one of rock music's greatest guitar players, died of cancer yesterday, his son said on Twitter. He was 65. Van Halen is among the top 20 best single artists of all time, and his band was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2007. In 1972, with brother Alex on drums, Eddie Van Halen formed the band that would become Van Halen. By 1974, it had the lineup that would make it one of the biggest groups in rock history. No matter the singer, Eddie Van Halen's high-flying guitar sound, heavy on tapping with both hands on the neck of the instrument, was deeply influential but also hard to imitate. Michael Jackson's Thriller, whose iconic Beat It featured a guitar solo from Eddie Van Halen.
Rolling Stone magazine put Eddie Van Halen at number 8 in its list of 100 greatest guitarists. And now, let's take a look at the weather update for the day. The national capital Delhi will have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was recorded at 18 degrees Celsius and the maximum is expected to be around 36 degrees. In Mumbai, there will be generally cloudy sky with light rain. The minimum temperature was 25 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 32 degrees. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky. The temperature is likely to hover between 26 and 37 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will witness generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The minimum temperature in the metropolis was 26 degrees Celsius, while the maximum is expected to be around 33 degrees. On to the north, in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature was 17 degrees Celsius in Jammu, while the maximum will be around 35 degrees. The city is likely to have mainly clear sky. In Srinagar, the minimum temperature was around 5 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 27 degrees. The city will have mainly clear sky. Ladakh will have mainly clear sky. The temperature is likely to hover between -2 and 21 degrees Celsius. In Gilgit, the temperature is likely to hover between 7 and 30 degrees Celsius. It will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. In Muzaffarabad, there will be mainly clear sky. The temperature is likely to hover between 11 and 30 degrees Celsius. In Dehradun, the temperature will hover between 19 and 33 degrees Celsius. The city will have mainly clear sky. In Chandigarh, there will be mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was 18 degrees Celsius. Maximum will be around 35 degrees. In Hyderabad, the minimum temperature was 22 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 33 degrees. Generally cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. The minimum temperature recorded in Ahmedabad was 25 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 36 degrees. The city is expected to have partly cloudy sky. Guwahati will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. The minimum temperature in the city was 25 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 34 degrees.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. The lead story in most dailies relates to the Hathras case. Shocking, horrible, says SC, directs witness protection is the headline in the Asian Age. The pioneer courts of Supreme Court are saying, informed by October 8 about steps to protect Hathras witnesses, will ensure smooth probe into Hathras gang rape, says SC, headlines The Hindu. Has India crossed the COVID peak? Asked The Hindu business line. At 61K, sharpest drop in daily COVID cases, writes the Tribune. Active cases only 13.75% of total caseload is the headline in the Statesman. The Times of India writes, positivity rate drops to 6.8% amid 80 lakh tests in a week. LJP to prop up its leaders, BJP rushes to calm JDU anger, headlines the Indian Express. Scientists Penrose, Genzel and Gas get Nobel Prize for revealing universe's darkest secret, reports the Hindustan Times. India makes China point. US hints at formal Quad is the headline in Hindustan Times. Government finalizes Naga Accord. Draft rejects flag demand is the lead headline in the Asian Age. And finally, SC judgment on Shaheen Bagh stir today, reports the Hindu.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. NDA finalizes seat sharing for Bihar Assembly elections. BJP releases list of 27 candidates for first phase. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says new farm laws safeguard farmers from fluctuation of prices for their products. Centre releases SOP to contain spread of COVID-19 for upcoming festival season. Quad foreign ministers of India, USA, Japan and Australia meet in Tokyo, call for a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific. And in IPL cricket, Mumbai Indians defeat Rajasthan Royals by 57 runs and Kolkata Knight Riders to clash with Chennai Super Kings today at Abu Dhabi. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on Air app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.